The Hornets even up the series against the Heat, and while we had been writing a ticket for Miami to compete against Cleveland in the conference finals, Kemba Walker and Jeremy Lin certainly have something to say about that. While you might think they both play the same position, they're the 7th most popular two-man lineup that head coach Steve Clifford used during the regular season. And for good reason. When the duo was on the court, according to NBA.com, the team's offensive rating was 105.1 and their net rating was plus 3.4. When those two were both on the bench, according to NBA Wowie, their net rating dropped to negative 6.5. Kemba Walker led the team with 34 points, and let's take a look how he was getting his buckets. Here's a cool wrinkle out of Horns where Kaminsky sets a down screen for Jefferson before Big Al ball screens. This is supposed to get Whiteside out of position. However, good defense by Hassan to get around, but watch how Kaminsky then pops out to the three-point line, drawing Deng with him. This opens the lane for Kemba to get this beautiful reverse to avoid the Whiteside block attempt. The Hornets go to great lengths to get Kemba attacking the basket, like this out-of-bounds play where they swing it around the horn, then set a cross screen for him, dribble pitch to him, then a ball screen that enables him to get into the lane for his patented floater. There are times the offense could get stagnant for the Hornets, even with Lin and Kemba out in the court at the same time. Lin fishes along the baseline before pulling up bait, then Kemba gets the switch and simply put, does some nasty up on Luol Deng. Let's look at this move in detail. First, a head and shot fake into a double crossover, then another shot fake. Notice how close his offhand gets to the ball without actually touching it, into a crossover which gets him to the hoop. The Hornets run a ton of horns. Here's high horns with a double ball screen way out on top. He chooses to attack Stoudemire's side, who has no hope of keeping up with him. With the equally slow-footed Haslam in there, the Hornets pick on him with a simple high pick and roll. However, this can't be how the Heat truly want to defend this. There's no way what Haslam did was part of their game plan. Yet, they catch him again with another ball screen, backing up way too far, allowing the open pull-up floater from 12 feet. Jeremy Lin did some serious damage too, to the tune of 21 points. With this group out there isn't a ton of space for him to work with, but he exploits the mismatch of Whiteside on him with a very Kemba-like reverse, using his body to protect the ball on this gorgeous finish. Here's the same nice wrinkle out of Horns, and this time Whiteside is much better containing the penetration, but Joe Johnson loses sight of man and ball, getting turned around on the lane cut. Nice pass and finish to avoid the block. More horns, and I like this, getting Haas sprinting to the elbow catch, Lin already beginning his cut as he's throwing the pass, and Stoudemire simply can't be this ineffective in helping. The second quarter doomed the Heat when they could only muster 13 total points on 3 field goals made. That said, this quarter was filled with very good looks they would normally make, so I would feel okay if I were a Heat fan, knowing that they executed well enough. Here's a really cool wrinkle to elbow get out of Horns, where we see a ball screen for the player at the elbow. But they set a down screen for Wade first. This is defended well by the Hornets, and certainly could have been a foul, but Haas goes up, keeps his arms up, and even though he rotates in the air, by that time, there wasn't enough contact to merit a call. The Heat run Horns with a ball screen for Dragic, and they twist it back to a second ball screen. This sucks Zeller deep into the paint. Great pass to Deng, who can't hit the completely wide open corner 3. The offense did stagnate as they lost their lead and the pressure mounted, however. The Iverson cut for Dragic is executed poorly, allowing Kemba to take away the pass to him. The secondary action flows into a pick and roll out top. Really good rotation by Walker on the weak side to cover until Jefferson could hustle back. Something was off with the timing, as Wright started his cut too early before Deng could get in position to screen for him. As a result, they don't get the open 3 in the corner, and now the offense falls apart into a Joe Johnson 9-dribble isolation on Courtney Lee, who contests this beautifully. On this Dragic-Deng pick and roll, Deng does a nice job to pop and attack on the catch. Kaminsky gets a clean strip, but it goes right back to Deng, who promptly misses the bunny. With a 5-on-4 and perfect 2-for-1 opportunity to finish out the quarter, the Heat push the ball but can't quite take advantage. Dragic gets into the middle of the lane and hits Winslow when Williams tries to help. another wide open corner three that doesn't go down. Let's move to the final 3.5 minutes. The Hornets are taking control of this game, up by 8, and the Heat absolutely need a bucket. They screen Wade with Joe Johnson, a great idea as it catches Marvin Williams in no man's land. Joe Johnson is wide open for the three, and they can get Haslam rolling. On the kick out, Johnson is still wide open and calmly nails it. The Hornets want to get Whiteside in the pick and roll, so they bring Jefferson up the screen way above the three-point line. There's a little push off by Kemba, mixed with Richardson losing his footing, and he rises up for the 22-footer. While Heat fans are probably seething on the no call, forcing a long two like this isn't the worst outcome. Whiteside starts out confused, not sure where to go, but they ultimately get it sorted out with a very late in the shot clock ball screen. Wade is an expert in clock awareness and takes his time, gets into the lane, and hits the tough runner. They run high horns again, but they don't have the two bigs connected to each other, allowing Richardson to get through the screen and recover to blow this action up. Kemba tries to hit the brakes, slips, and this leaves Lin with very little time to do anything. Whiteside establishes position, there's no room along the sideline, and Lin and Whiteside take a little stroll together out of bounds. The Heat try to screen for Johnson before Johnson ball screens Wade. Wade breaks back to the middle where all the defense is already set up and can't get anywhere. But we get a little prime Dwayne Wade with this move, possibly gets away with a travel, but if he's going to hit this kind of fall away, you might as well give it to him. Here's an interesting set. They ball screen for Kemba, but then watch how they set a double back screen for the roll man Jefferson to get him in low post position. It doesn't really work as he has to catch it 15 feet from the basket, and Al can hit his patented turnaround jump hook. The Heat quickly come down and attack. Kemba gets lost standing in the lane as his man Richardson is wide open in the corner. He can't hit, and Lin gets tangled up with Deng on the weak side. Of course, this could have easily been a foul, but Deng also teaches us the importance of going for the rebound with two hands. The refs can only review who the ball went out off of, and the Hornets get it back. Again, the Hornets want Whiteside in the pick and roll, sending Zeller out the ball screen. Wade does a great job to deflect the ball, almost forcing the turnover, but Kemba gets control, kicks it out, and the Hornets have very little time to start their attack over. Lee gets away with a travel. After he did his 1-2, he then slides the right pivot foot, but no one boxes him out, and he gets the crucial offensive rebound. However, Kemba can't get the three ball to go down off the high screen with a terrific contest by Josh Richardson. Plenty of time for a 2-for-1 for the Heat. Miami simply spreads the floor, patiently waits for Wade to get back down the court, and when he finds the opening, it forces Zeller to help, and Marvin Williams is too slow sliding over to help himself, and they have to foul. Whiteside splits the free throws, and the Heat must get a stop. They've got plenty of time for a shot of their own after the stop. Not sure why the Hornets started attacking this early. Perhaps that's why Kemba didn't pull on this jumper and instead kicks it back out. However, by doing all of that, they don't have enough time to run something good. The defense is fantastic, and Walker has to burp up this terrible shot. That said, shots like these tend to be long rebounds, and when Wade didn't stay with his man, and Deng didn't hustle back to the lane fast enough, Courtney Lee gets the rebound, the Heat are forced to foul, and now the Hornets have come back from the dead to make this a real series. The big issue for the Heat has been their offense. Can they get back to their first two games where their offensive rating was a whopping 132.3? Or have the Hornets solved their issues and will continue to put the Heat through the heat grinder? Game 5 will be crucial, and the Heat have to be thankful that it's in Miami.